Hello and welcome, my name is Reef as always, and if you're playing Witch Doctor this season 3 and you're looking for a really high damage build and you just can't seem to find a fucking good Carnival or an ancient dragon dagger of darts, or you're tired of playing support Witch Doctor the whole time, this build might be for you. First off, this build is based on the Jade Harvester set piece. This build has been around, or iterations of it has been around for quite some time, but it's a lot better now since the new items came in with the previous season, season 2, for the Witch Doctor, called the Wormwood. First off, let's go through the items you need. You need the Quetzalcoatl hat. Locust Swarm and Haunt now deals the damage in half of the normal duration. This basically doubles the damage of some of your skills that you're going to use in this build, which is really good. Any good amulet will work, especially if it's a poison immunity or some kind of immunity amulet. Julia's cameo is also really good because Taylor is always a bitch for witch doctors. Rings, you would ideally want a good royal ring of grandeur. This one's not ideal, but it's okay. And a stone of Jordan with poison damage and a high elite damage roll. Gems I'm using is Gem of Fisher's Toxin for two reasons: that 10% extra damage that the enemies take while affected by the poison, and also the poison acts as another damage over time effect, which is good for this build specifically. The rings is Bane of the Powerful, as well as the Bane of the Trapped, which is quite good. Other items I'm using is the Jade Harvester shoulders, gloves, chest piece, pants and boots, and as well as a Witching Hour belt. Any belt is good here if you don't have the specific one. There's also a few ones like Sabor's Hot Nightmare, which casts haunt every time you click on an object, like a chest or a body or something like that, which is quite cool. But the main big thing is obviously the Wormwood. Locust Swarm continuously plagues on enemies around you, which is really useful, as well as the Wormwood always rolls with poison damage bonus, which is obviously for this build based on poison damage really good. So let's take a look at the skills, and before I get into it, let me just explain why I'm using these specific skills by telling you the Jade Harvester bonuses. The two set bonus is when Haunt lands on an enemy already affected by Haunt, it instantly deals 10 seconds worth of Haunt damage. So this is really good, basically doubles up your damage. Soul Harvest gains the effect of every rune, and Soul Harvest consumes your damage over time effects on enemies, instantly dealing the remaining damage. Now this is huge. So all your damage over time effects are stacked up. And your damage over time effects is your Haunt, your Locust Swarm, your Gem of Fisher's Toxin. I mean, this is 4000% weapon damage, Haunt does 4000% weapon damage. A Locust Swarm does also a fair bit of damage. So this all stacks up, and taking it all instantly really makes a big difference. So skills wise, I'm using Haunt Poison Spirit because it does 4000% weapon damage as poison over 12 seconds if the enemy dies. The spirit will haunt another nearby enemy, and haunted enemies take 20% more damage from all sources. So this is another 20% damage bonus, basically, for the entire party. If you're in a party or solo, this works both ways. Then you want Perinados because it's really good for crowd control, and enemies take another 15% increased damage while affected by Perinado. And this also gets buffed later on. I'll just show you how. Mass Confusion Paranoia. This is another. See, because I use a Wormwood instead of a Furnace, for example, because the Furnace is still really good for this build, I have an extra slot which I'm using Mass Confusion with, and all enemies in the area of effect of Mass Confusion take 20% additional damage for 12 seconds. So this kind of makes up for the loss of the elite damage from the Furnace, but this is really good as well. Horrify Frightening Aspect. This is more for survival and crowd control at the same time. Horrify does fear and immobilize targets. All you support witch doctors know their skill really good, but I'm using the gain 35% additional armor for 8 seconds after casting Horrify because it really helps with survival. And then obviously Soul Harvest is your main skill here. I'm using Soul to waste, but it doesn't really matter because you can just use the basic one because with the bonus you get all the effects anyway. So this doesn't really matter which one you choose because you have all of them. And Spirit Walk Jaunt, just for that getting away from danger, moving around faster, and getting into parties and proccing the Soul Harvest and all that. Really good. I can't really stress how good this skill is for this build. And passive, you want to use Grave Injustice. Gain 1% of your maximum life and mana and reduce the cooldown of all your skills by 1 second when an enemy dies within 20 yards. This is really useful for the skill because everything, you have a lot of skills that are on cooldown. So any cooldown reduction you can have is always good. Rush of Essence. Spirit spells return 100 mana over 10 seconds. Spirit spells are Haunt, Horrify, Mass Confusion, Soul Harvest, Spirit Barrage, and Spirit Walk. Basically, this ends up saying you don't worry about mana at all. You can just can't cast Haunt the whole fucking day, you won't run out of mana. Other than that, Spirit Vessel reduces cooldown of Horrify, Spirit Walk, and Soul Harvest, and also counts as a second life ability. And then Creeping Death, which your Haunt and Locust Swarm and damage application from barrage last almost forever. This build it's not as easy as the Dagger of Darts build, and you don't see a lot of people using it currently, but it is still really, really good if you want high damage, and it works with solo play as well as in a party. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Paragons I'm using is just intelligence and movement speed maxed, attack speed, crit chance, crit damage. Attack speed is the least important here. Cooldown reduction is also really important, but I haven't really spent points in it yet. Defense is life, armor, resist all, and utility is resource cost reduction, life on hit, and area damage. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, let me know what build you're using for your Witch Doctor, and if you think you're going to try out the Jade Harvester build. Anyway, cheers.